75% of adults over 65 take at least one blood pressure medication. If you're one of them, what I'm about to tell you could save your life this summer. Your blood pressure pills work perfectly fine in winter, in spring, even in early fall. But the moment the temperature climbs above 90 degrees, something changes inside your body. Something your doctor probably never explained. Those pills, the same ones keeping you alive, can start working against you. Not because they're defective, not because you're taking the wrong dose, but because heat changes the rules, and your medication doesn't know that. Think of your cardiovascular system as a city's plumbing network. Your blood pressure pills are the pressure regulators. They keep the water flowing at safe levels. But what happens when a heat wave hits and the city's water supply drops by 30%? Those regulators keep reducing pressure on a system that's already running dry. The pipes don't burst from too much pressure. They collapse from too little. Today I'm going to walk you through 8 specific dangers that blood pressure medications create in summer heat. I'm going to name the drugs, I'm going to explain the mechanisms, and I'm going to tell you exactly what to watch for, because the warning signs are hiding in plain sight. I'm not telling you to stop your medication. That could kill you faster than the heat. I'm telling you to understand what these pills do differently when it's hot outside. Let's start with the most common one. Before we get to the drugs, you need to understand why your aging body is already at a disadvantage in summer heat before you even take a single pill. 3 things change as you age. First, your sweat glands become less efficient. By 65, your body produces roughly 40% less sweat than it did at 30. Sweat is your primary cooling system. With less of it, your core temperature rises faster and takes longer to come down. Second, your thirst mechanism weakens. The hypothalamus, the part of your brain responsible for triggering thirst, becomes less responsive with age. You can lose significant fluid and feel absolutely no urge to drink. We covered this in detail in our last video about dehydration and UTIs. Third, your blood volume decreases. Older adults naturally carry less circulating blood. There's less fluid available to send to the skin for cooling, less fluid to spare for sweating, less margin for error. Now layer blood pressure medication on top of that. You're starting with reduced sweating, broken thirst signals, and low blood volume. And then you take a pill that either removes more fluid, slows your heart rate, widens your blood vessels, or suppresses your thirst even further. That's not a side effect. That's a collision course. The CDC reports that medication is a contributing factor in approximately 30% of heat-related emergency room visits among seniors. 30%, and blood pressure pills are the #1 medication category involved. Here are the 8 dangers you need to know. Warning 1. Diuretics draining your water supply. The most prescribed blood pressure pills in America for seniors are diuretics, water pills, hydrochlorothiazide, HCTZ, furosemide Lasix. If you take one of these, listen carefully. A diuretic works by forcing your kidneys to flush out sodium and water. That lowers your blood volume. Lower blood volume means lower pressure. Simple plumbing. But here's what happens in July. You're already losing water through sweat, even the reduced sweat of an aging body. You're losing water through breathing in dry, air-conditioned rooms. And then, your diuretic removes 40 to 60% more urine than normal. In 95-degree heat, total fluid loss on a diuretic can exceed 3 liters per day. 3 liters. That's more than 12 cups of water leaving your body while your broken thirst mechanism tells you you're fine. Let me put this in plumbing terms. Your doctor installed a drain to reduce pressure in the system. But summer opens a second drain, your sweat glands, that nobody planned for. 2 drains, 1 water supply. The tank empties. And when the tank runs low, it doesn't just affect your blood pressure. Your kidneys start to struggle, your urine darkens, your electrolytes shift, and the cascade toward warnings 2 through 8 begin. This is danger #1, and it sets the stage for everything that follows. The fix is not stopping your diuretic. The fix is matching your water intake to your output. Your doctor prescribed the drain, but nobody told you to open the faucet wider to compensate. Ask your doctor specifically, how much more water should I drink in summer because of my diuretic? That question alone could keep you out of the emergency room. Warning 2. Beta blockers capping your radiator. If you take Metoprolol, atenolol, or propranolol, you're on a beta blocker. These drugs slow your heart rate and reduce blood flow to the skin. In normal conditions, that's fine. But your skin is your radiator. When you overheat, your cardiovascular system sends warm blood to the skin surface, where heat radiates outward. That's how you cool down. Beta blockers reduce that blood flow. They also reduce sweat gland activation. So now your radiator has a cap on it. The engine your body keeps running, heat keeps building. But the cooling system is partially disabled. Think of a car with a blocked radiator grille on a desert highway. The engine temperature gauge climbs, slowly, steadily, and by the time the warning light comes on, you're already in trouble. If you're on a beta blocker, your warning signs will be subtle. You won't sweat as much as you should. You won't feel as hot as you actually are. Your heart rate won't climb the way it normally would in response to heat. That's the cruel trick. Your body's alarm system is muffled by the very medication you depend on. Here's what I recommend. Keep a simple oral thermometer by your chair. On days above 85 degrees, check your temperature every 2 hours. If it reaches 99.5, even if you feel fine, get to a cool place immediately. Run cool water over your wrists. Turn on a fan, because your body is overheating and it can't tell you. Warning 3. ACE inhibitors silencing your thirst alarm. Lisinopril, enalapril, ramipril. These are ACE inhibitors. They relax your blood vessels by blocking an enzyme called angiotensin-converting enzyme. But here's the hidden effect that most doctors don't emphasize. ACE inhibitors can suppress your thirst sensation. Not dramatically, but enough. And in a body where thirst is already impaired by aging, even a small additional suppression can be catastrophic, because you're removing the last line of defense. The last signal your body had left to tell you, drink water, now. Now here's what makes this truly dangerous. The most commonly prescribed combination pill for seniors is Lisinopril plus HCTZ, an ACE inhibitor and a diuretic in a single tablet. One pill suppresses your thirst, the other drains your water, both at the same time. In summer, if you take this combination, and millions of seniors do, you are at significantly elevated risk of dehydration. Not mild dehydration, the kind that sends you to the emergency room. Your protection. Drink on a schedule. Not when you're thirsty. On a timer. 8 ounces every 90 minutes. Because your body can no longer tell you when it needs water. Warning 4. Calcium channel blockers. The double vasodilation crash. Amlodipine, nifedipine, diltiazem. These are calcium channel blockers. They work by relaxing the smooth muscle in your blood vessel walls. The vessels widen, pressure drops, but heat also dilates blood vessels. That's your body's natural cooling response. Widen the vessels near the skin to release heat. So now you have 2 vasodilators working simultaneously. The medication opens the vessels, the heat opens them wider, and your blood pressure drops through the floor. Imagine opening every window in a house during a hurricane. The medication opens the windows, the heat blows them off their hinges, the structural integrity collapses. The result? Dizziness, lightheadedness, blurred vision, and in severe cases, syncope fainting. Which brings us to the next warning. Warning 5. The orthostatic trap, when standing up becomes dangerous. Orthostatic hypotension. It's a medical term for what happens when your blood pressure drops suddenly upon standing. Normally, when you stand, gravity pulls blood toward your legs. Your body compensates by constricting blood vessels and increasing heart rate. You adjust in seconds. You don't even notice. But in summer heat with blood pressure medication, that compensation fails. Your vessels are already dilated by the drug and by the heat. Your heart rate is already suppressed by the beta blocker. Your blood volume is already low from the diuretic and the dehydration. You stand up from a chair, your blood pressure plummets, your brain loses oxygen for 2 to 3 seconds, and you fall. Falls are the #1 cause of injury death in adults over 65. One single hip fracture carries a 20 to 30% mortality rate within 1 year. Not from the break, from the complications pneumonia, blood clots, infection that follow when an elderly person is bedridden. I want you to picture this. It's a hot Tuesday afternoon. You've been sitting in your chair watching television for an hour. You stand up to go to the kitchen. The room tilts. Your vision goes gray at the edges. Your knees buckle, and you're on the floor before you even register what happened. This happens thousands of times every summer across America. And the common factor? Blood pressure medication plus heat plus dehydration plus the simple act of standing up. The protective rule. Sit for 10 seconds before standing. Stand for 10 seconds before walking. Every single time, no exceptions, especially on hot days. And if you feel even the slightest dizziness upon standing, sit back down immediately. Wait 30 seconds. Try again slowly. Warning 6. Photosensitivity sunburn from a pill. This one catches people completely off guard. If you take hydrochlorothiazide HCTZ, your skin is significantly more sensitive to sunlight. The mechanism is precise. HCTZ molecules accumulate in your skin cells. When UV radiation hits those cells, the HCTZ absorbs the energy and generates reactive oxygen species, free radicals that damage cell membranes and DNA. The result? Sunburn that arrives faster, hurts more, and blisters worse than anything you've experienced. Some patients report burning after only 15 minutes of direct sun exposure. And there's a long-term concern. A study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that chronic HCTZ use combined with sun exposure is associated with an increased risk of squamous cell carcinoma, a type of skin cancer. Your doctor may never have told you this. The FDA requires a photosensitivity warning on HCTZ labels. But a warning label on a bottle is not the same as a conversation. If you take HCTZ, SPF 50 sunscreen, wide-brimmed hat, long sleeves, and avoid direct sun between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Non-negotiable. Warning 7. Electrolyte Collapse, the silent heart danger. Every time a diuretic flushes water out of your body, it takes electrolytes with it. Potassium, sodium, magnesium. These aren't just minerals. They're the electrical signals that keep your heart beating in rhythm. When potassium drops too low, a condition called hypokalemia, your heart's electrical system malfunctions. The rhythm becomes irregular, arrhythmia, and severe arrhythmia can cause sudden cardiac arrest. When sodium drops too low, hyponatremia, your brain swells. Confusion, headaches, nausea, in severe cases, seizures, coma. Here's the dangerous part. The early warning sign of electrolyte depletion is muscle cramps. Simple cramps, the kind you dismiss as I must have overdone it today. But if you're on a diuretic in summer, muscle cramps are not normal. They are a warning. Your potassium may be dropping toward the danger zone. Your protection. Ask your doctor for a basic metabolic panel, a simple blood test at the start of every summer. Monitor your potassium levels. Eat potassium-rich foods, bananas, sweet potatoes, spinach, avocados, and if your doctor hasn't discussed a potassium supplement, bring it up at your next appointment. Warning 8. Heat stroke, when all 7 combine. This is the final stage. When dehydration from the diuretic meets impaired sweating from the beta blocker, meets suppressed thirst from the ACE inhibitor, meets vasodilation crash from the calcium blocker, meets electrolyte depletion from all of them, combined heat stroke, your core body temperature exceeds 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Your skin feels hot and dry because you can't sweat. Your heart races because it's desperately trying to cool a system that no longer can. You become confused, disoriented, combative, or you lose consciousness entirely. Heat stroke is a medical emergency. Without treatment, mortality approaches 50%. Call 911. Move the person to shade or air conditioning. Apply ice packs to the neck, armpits, and groin, where major blood vessels are close to the skin. Fan them. Spray cool water. Do not give them fluids by mouth if they're confused aspiration risk. And then understand this. Every one of the previous 7 warnings was a step on the path to this moment. Every one of them could have been intercepted. Every one of them could have been prevented. Let me give you the 5-point summer medication safety protocol. 1. Never stop or change your medication without your doctor's approval. Stopping blood pressure pills in summer can cause a rebound hypertensive crisis, which is worse than the heat risk. 2. Hydrate on a schedule. 8 ounces every 90 minutes. Don't wait for thirst. 3. Get a basic metabolic panel at the start of summer. Know your potassium and sodium levels. 4. Practice the 10-to-10 rule. Sit 10 seconds before standing. Stand 10 seconds before walking. 5. Avoid direct sun between 10 and 4. If you take HCTZ, wear SPF 50. Always. Print this list. Put it on your refrigerator and have this conversation with your family. Sit down with your children, your spouse, your caregiver, whoever checks in on you and tell them, I take blood pressure medication. In summer heat, These are the signs to watch for. Give them the list. Tell them about the orthostatic trap. Tell them about the muscle cramps. Tell them what heat stroke looks like, because if it happens to you, you may not be able to help yourself. But they can if they know what to look for. If you take any blood pressure medication, type the name of your pill in the comments. Just the name. I want to see how many of you are affected by what we discussed today. And share this video with anyone you know who takes blood pressure medication. They deserve to know what their doctor may not have told them, especially before the next heat wave. Subscribe and hit the bell, because next time I'm going to reveal the 3 summer fruits that lower blood pressure naturally and could reduce your medication dependency. You need to see that one. Stay safe, stay hydrated, and stay informed.